down to the feet. Kind of like the AKA martini glass look. Next up, 255 Madison Dings. So that's considered the model pose right there from the side. So there's a front pose where they come straight on, which you'll see right here. She's in great condition. We're looking for those adductors popping out, which is her leg from her hip to her knee. That's the model pose, because there are quarter turns in this, just like in wellness. Yeah, she's in great condition. She's going to be very hard to beat in this class. Next up, 256, Faith Dudek. And finally, number 257, Chattanooga Poindexter. And now they'll bring them out, since there's 4 competitors. They'll put them on the line and just go right through the call out.
$254, $256, switch please. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Face front.
So every athlete competing this weekend, whether it's men's division, women's division, has had to qualify to get here. These national level shows, which you can turn pro at, you can't just walk in and compete. You can't just decide one day I'm going to do junior nats and come in here and compete. You have to qualify by going to a regional show that is a national qualifier and placing. Some shows it's winner of the class, some of the top 2, some top 5. It depends on which show you go to as how you qualify. And once you qualify, then you can come here and compete. So each one of these athletes has earned the right to be here. They deserve to be on stage. And now they're competing for that illustrious pro card, which means that they turn pro. So some of these ladies tonight will be leaving the amateur ranks and going into the professional ranks of the IFBB, where they get to obviously compete for money at that point, but also try to get to the Olympia. Now, the Olympia in our realm is literally the Super Bowl of our sport. When you win the Olympia, no matter what division it is, if you win the open division, you're the best in the world in the open division. If you win the figure division, you're the best in the world in the figure division. So the idea is you turn pro, you compete, you earn your way to the Olympia, and try to compete in the Super Bowl of our sport for that top spot. We're going to roll right into Class B in women's figure here with 258 Jen Hughes. Next up, 259 Julie Medina. Up next, 260, Paula Rojo. Very wide shoulders. And rounding out the class, number 261, Yannette Soto. Then there are 4 ladies in this class. They're going to bring them out, put them on the line, and go right into the call out. And run through the comparisons.
Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. Forward turn to the right. Face the back. Forward turn to the right.
Must be a close score if it works. Just turn them again and again. So the judges, their main job is to get this right, and they take it very seriously. You know, I've sat at a table with each and every one of these people before. They take this serious. They know how much hard work these individuals have put into their diets, their training, their cardio, the sacrifices they've made for the last 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 weeks, whatever it may be. We know when we're sitting at that table, we completely understand, and we want to get it right.
Finals is 4 p.m. today. We do have guest sponsors. We do have some very special guests in attendance. So make sure you get those tickets. You have got them online already. Just right at the entry door, Korea University will be there to have your tickets in person if need be. Because I know I just had a message to you that I want to show up really quick. So just an FYI, do you, but it is getting pretty busy. Okay. For today's round size, we're ready to go. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our Class C figure, first of the ladies, 262 to 266.
So Class C and women's figure, we have 10 women, so we're going to come out in 2 groups.
Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. Thank you, ladies.
You might notice in this division you see a lot more definition in the legs. That's part of this division also. See the quadriceps completely separated right up the hips, from the knees all the way up to the hips with the adductors.
Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Shoulders are to the right. Face front. Thank you, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
And now we're going to go into the individual presentations. Number 262 is Janae Banks. Up next, 263, Tara Beckham. She's in great condition. Up next, 264, Brandy Koteski. Next up is 265, Samantha Jenkins. Again, conditioning is on point. She's got some supporters in the crowd tonight. I can hear them back here. Great overall look. 266, Fatima Kamara. Very wide shoulders. Tiny little waist. Compared to 267, Devin Oxner. Great shoulders, great taper. Next up, 268, Jen Roberts, who is also a women's physique class B. Up next, number 269, Hannah Rosewald. Doesn't carry as much mass as the other women in this class so far, but she's got great shape. Tiny, tiny waist. Back flows into that small waist. Good wide upper back. Up next, 270, Miranda Weeder.
417, Melissa. Oh.
And the final competitor in this class is 417, Melissa Gauze. All right, so with all 10, they're going to put them on the diagonals, and we're going to get a first call out.
263, 265, 266, 269.
This looks like we're going to get 4 in this call out.
Turn to the right. Turn to the right. Turn to the right. Okay, front. Turn to the right. Turn to the right. Turn to the right. Okay, front. Thank you, ladies.
And that is your first call out of the top 4 here in Class C. And they'll bring out the rest of the class here, and they'll go through the call outs and get moved around a little bit.
417 and 68, switch ladies. Turn to the right. Turn to the right.
And they'll run through the quarter turns.
Turn to the right. Face front. 264, 270, switch ladies. 264, 267, switch ladies.
So even though they're not in the top 4, they're not in the running for a pro card right now, they are still going to get moved around and looked at and compared to one another to get their proper placing. It's not like, well, if you're not in for the pro card, then it doesn't really matter. The placings matter, you know, because these ladies, if they want to come back next year and do the show again, their goal would be place higher. You know, of course, the goal is always to win. You train to win. But if you didn't win and you went from 7th to 2nd, you know, the progress is enough to keep somebody motivated, get back in the gym again and come after that first place the next year. You know, many people with the pro card, it's a process. It's not just I do one show and qualify, I go to nationals and win. That happens sometimes, very rarely, but it's a process, a lengthy process. And that's going to wrap up Class C, which leads us, if you've been following along, of course, to Class D.
NPC online is here to cover this show, and if anyone is seeing recording or videoing or filming or anything to do with videography or photography, you will be escorted from the show, so hashtag does it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with the show. Let's keep this upbeat. Let me keep it pressing you guys on. Let's open up the Class D figure, our first competitor, 273. Alright, yeah.
First up in Class D is 273, Amarath Kim. She got great separation in her legs. Really hard and dry, very muscular. Taper from shoulders and back down to waist is good. Up next is 274, Jackie Kowalski. And rounding out the class, number 275 is Amanda Rakowski. Very wide shoulders, which is of course beneficial in this class. You want the wide shoulders, the wide back, and the small waist. And the wider your shoulders and your back are, the smaller your waist looks. Alright, so we have 3 competitors in this class. They're going to come right to the line for comparisons.
Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. 273, 274, switch please. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. Thank you, ladies.
And that's going to round up Class D, which is going to lead us into Class E. And again, these divisions, as they go B, C, D, E, they get taller and taller as those letters go up.
Aesthetics, Eats and Cheats, and West Coast Convections, all attending and sponsoring this show. On that note, we're getting ready to go into our Class E figure.
And here we go with Class E. First up is Sarah Moten again. She's from Maryland. I've known her for a few years. She works the NPC shows with us. She also did women's physique. She was Class A for women's physique division. Next up, 242, Cynthia Branham, who is also in Wellness Class C. Up next, 271, Elise Boas.
Let's welcome competitor 276, Natalie Chapman.
Next up, 276, Natalie Chapman.
Alright, start for the hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome competitor 278, Megan Trimble.
Up next, 278, Megan Trimble.
And our final competitor 279, Megan Woolley.
Up next is 279, Megan Woolley.
Alright, thank you, Megan. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It's our Class C ladies in women's figure. The ladies line up with your ready.
And with 6 competitors in this division, we're going to bring right to the line and go into comparisons.
Two 278, 276, 279, 242, please. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. 279 and 271, switch please. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Forward turn to the right. Face front. Thank you, ladies.
And that's going to close out the women's figure Class E class, bringing us into the final class of the women's figure division, Class F.
To our final class in this figure division. Let's welcome to the stage our first competitor. Please welcome competitor 218, Lauren.
First is number 218, Lauren Anderson, who is also in the women's physique division in Class D.
Let's welcome 221, Christina Nelly.
Up next is 221, Christina Nelly, also women's physique division, Class D. Just get that perfect X frame.
Let's welcome competitor 280, Aangrish.
Up next is number 280, Amber Goodwin.
Competitor 281, Shelby Harmony.
Up next is number 281, Shelly Harmontree.
Let's welcome 282, Katrina Mosca.
Up next, 282, Katrina Mosca.
Our final competitor 283, Hannah Wishan.
And the final competitor in this class, as well as the figure division for today, 283, Hannah Wishan.
Our guest trainer, our final competitor in the figure and class. This size world is our ladies from the center for the last time this morning. And pass it back to our Denise Stable and head judge,
And we're going to go right into comparisons with 6 athletes here.
$283 and $280, switch please. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Page front. 218 and 281, switch please. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Page front. Thank you, ladies.
And that is going to finish off the women's figure division, Class F, and the division itself, which we are going to be rolling into Bikini, which is our final division of the day. Not to fear, we have Class A through H, and we're going to start out with Class A. And we're going to bring them out in groups first before we do the first call-outs, and before they do the individual presentations, and then call-outs. So let's hold on and hear about the sponsors first.
To ever step on stage within the IFBB Professional League, and she is now taking the step into judging and pioneering for the females of the next generation.